I just have to find the flow. It'll be fine. Which is what this whole video is about, is the panic of like, how are we going to put our kids down when we have other children to take care of? Hey guys, my name is Shayla. Welcome to my channel. If this is your first time here, we talk about motherhood. We talk about pregnancy. Not pregnancy anymore because I'm not getting pregnant anymore, but I have so many videos about natural birthing and breastfeeding. I have an incredible podcast, actually, if you are interested in breastfeeding, co-sleeping. We do things eco-friendly, we do natural, whatever. But we're focusing now on just motherhood and just like the realities of motherhood and how to keep it positive, because I feel like if you can reframe your mind, you can just love it, because we're so focused on our kids' childhood, but we need to be focused on our motherhood and enjoying it and loving it. So if any of that resonates, I have a guide, a mindset guide. Go to heyshayla.com/shop. Today we are going to be talking about how to nap a baby with toddlers. The first thing I want to say is, please, now, during or after this video, please comment with how you've done it, because I think people just need to see that it's possible, because people just don't think that it's possible. I didn't. I was like, how is this going to work? When I had my second and then my third, I was just like, how? And there's a lot of factors in this, right? Like the age gaps. If you have a 7-year-old, it's not as concerning what they're going to do while you nap the baby than if you have like Irish twins or something, or twins even, like, I don't know. And I don't have experience doing that. So I'm just going to tell you my experience. We have a 5-year-old, a 3-year-old, and a 1-year-old. So all of my older kids were about 2 years old when the baby was born. So that's where we're coming from here. Sorry, this is total tangent. This is a shirt that I'm working on. I love the acid wash. It's a little bit off-centered and it's a little bit small for what I want. I want the print to be a little bit bigger, but that's coming. Okay, I got distracted because I was looking at myself because I look like a hot mess right now, but I feel like you maybe look the same. And so we're just together, hanging out together. Not that you look like a hot mess, you look beautiful. We co-sleep. We do like floor beds. I nurse my kids to sleep. I don't know that that's necessarily relevant for this, but I'll kind of tell you the whole transition of what we did. So like my biggest anxiety producer and my biggest like obsession is my children's sleep. I still track my 5-year-old sleep. Like, oh, she went to bed at this time. She woke up at this time in the Huckleberry app. I track my own sleep. Just like woke up. I don't track it when they wake up all through the night. I'm just like went to bed at this time, woke up at this time. So when my first was born, I would like try and get her to take her nap for like 2 hours. And I would just cry and be like, why won't you go to sleep? And then it took me till like my second to realize like, oh, you're not tired. That's why you're fighting the sleep. So I guess if you're a new mom and you're watching this, please don't stress too much about the sleep. From a third-time mom and someone who's still trying to recover from being obsessed with sleep, they will sleep. One day they might take an hour-long nap when they normally take a 3-hour nap, and then the next day they're going to make up for it. Or 2 days later they're going to make up for it. They're going to sleep a whole bunch or whatever. It all works out. I was literally like, my kid is not going to be as intelligent because I'm not giving her the adequate sleep. Like that was my fear, is that I was just depriving her brain of sleep. Ask your parents about it. My mom's like, you guys are insane that you like track wake windows and all this. It was just like the kids fall asleep when they fall asleep. And I was like, I don't know that world. I have an entire playlist on sleep about weaning, night weaning, about co-sleeping. When my first was 2, she stopped napping because I couldn't handle napping 2 kids. I think there was a little bit of an overlap, and then I was like, you're good. There's a little transition where she wasn't good, but she went to bed earlier and she was fussy for like the last couple hours, but I couldn't do it. So I was so worried about how I was gonna co-sleep with 2 that I was like, we have to sleep train the first so that she can go to sleep by herself. So we did that. Bedrock sleep. She's amazing. She's gentle. She goes with your approach, but she just gives it to you straight. You do a free consult with her. If you're like, we don't align, you don't do it. So then my second was born. The first was sleep trained for like 4 months. And then she got sick and she ended up right back in her bed. And then we figured out how to co-sleep with 2. It was great. Nap time, I would just give her a show and then I would go put the baby down. And for the most part, she understood, but sometimes she didn't. And I feel like I get that mom rage. I don't even want to admit that I got mom rage because I feel like we need to keep it locked up. We are the adults, but we're also freaking postpartum doing this solo. And I'm like, so like when she would come in, I'd be like, Aaliyah, what are you doing? I want to clarify that I never physically hurt her. Like there's never any like rage like that. Just like in my body, I could feel it boiling. And I was just like, the baby's not going to take her nap. And then what am I going to do? I'm learning the third time that you just got to roll with it. Because there's a mom that I want to be. I want to be like calm. You are my priority. Children, you are my priority. Mom, yes, I'll get this video filmed. Yes, it's going to interrupt things, but like this is how I want to be. Same thing with the sleep. I want to be the mom that calmly says, yes, dear, what do you need? Because I wasn't that with my second when she was born and the toddler came in. I was like, what do you want? Leave me alone. Just let me get this baby to sleep. And I'd rock her to sleep and then I'd lay her down in the bed and then she'd go to sleep and then it was fine. But I was like, and they don't get it. They don't understand why I need to be away from them forever with this new human that like is taking all of their attention. So like I get it. What I would say to that is figure out how you want to handle it. What is the ideal scenario? For me, it took some learning. So by the third one, they would come upstairs and they'd be like, we're hungry. And I'm like, you need to go downstairs. I'll get you a snack when I'm done. So now guess what? Before I go up, I make sure they have a snack. Or I'd be upstairs and then I would hear them, I have to go potty. La. And like, they're potty trained, but they need help. So then I would have to come downstairs and the baby would be awake. So now we go potty before I go up. Here's your show. We started doing tablets just on the weekend. We went on a road trip and now they love their tablets. And I'm just like, I know this isn't the best thing for you. But also they have like little Tamagotchi where they get an egg and then they have to wait and they have to feed it. And it's like Tamagotchi, but it's not Tamagotchi. And I remember loving that. So I was like, we need to find a balance here. So when I say the weekend, it makes it very clear. So it's like, today's not a weekend, tomorrow's a weekend, and they get excited for it. So it's like, there's no more like, if I ask, am I going to get it or not? It's like, nope, it's a weekday or a weekend. It's great. And then they can do their tablets while I go upstairs. So I give them something to do. I make sure they have a snack and a drink. And I make sure that they go to the potty before I go up. That is very hard to do sometimes when the baby's losing it. And I'm like, I just need to bring you up here, but I need to make sure that they don't come up and interrupt. Even when I do all those things sometimes, they come up because she put her leg on me. And once I was like, okay, how am I going to handle this? The calmer I am, if baby's asleep or like on the verge, he might stay sleeping. He might not, but we're going to try and keep that energy. So the toddler comes up and is like, because I know they have to be quiet. And I swear when they whisper, it wakes the baby up more than when they are like talking. She comes up and I'm like, yes. And I welcome her. Hello, Esme, what do you need? We're keeping the energy very calm, how I want it to be. And she goes, Mom, she kicked me. And I said, oh, I'm so sorry she kicked you. That's not very kind. Why don't you go sit on the other side of the couch? And I just try and handle it. Sometimes that works. Sometimes that doesn't work. Sometimes I do all the things. I stay calm and the baby still wakes up and is ready to rock. Then I just have to like take a minute. So then I leave them on their devices and I like sit down and I rethink about what I'm going to do with this non-nap time and when we're going to try and nap again and what the rest of the day looks like. Sometimes I go, okay, we were going to go to the pool after you woke up. We're going to go now and we're just going to power through it. And you'll go to sleep earlier. And I'll bring the carrier because that's like when he gets really fussy and tired, he just wants to be like comfortably somewhere. So I'll bring the carrier, we'll be good to go. But I need that 5 minutes to like recalibrate because if I don't do that, then the whole day is just kind of in this like spirally energy where if I can be like, okay, here's the new plan. Okay, all right, let's do it. Somebody said that they put a baby monitor in the living room for the toddlers so that when they're up with baby, they can see what's going on in the living room. And I tell the girls, do not answer the door for anyone, even your dad. If your dad shows up, do not answer he has a key, he can get it. Do not open the door for anybody. And I have a Ring camera so I can see, so that's nice. So my phone will be like, someone's at the front door. And then I'm like, someone's at the front door. I'm up here, like I'm not. So then I can like kind of see what's going on in the house. So I love the living room monitor idea. Just rely on TV. Some people have like specific nursing toys that they have for their kids. I think that's when they're a little bit younger, but like these are the toys you get to play with while I'm nursing the baby. And they're like special so that they are entertained while you're nursing. And that's why I would think that if your toddler has to be in the room while you're nursing the baby, we're just going to get used to that. We're just going to get used to baby sleepy. The baby's like, okay, yeah, the toddler's in here. They've always been in here when I go to sleep. So like give yourself like a 2-week grace of like, this is going to be a shite show until I figure this out. And then everyone's going to get on rhythm and get used to it. The other thing that I want to say is for the first 4 months, baby lives in the carrier. Baby lives in the carrier. I will swear by this. Baby will take naps in the carrier. Baby falls asleep when they want, wakes up when they want, nurses when they want. It's like they just live in the carrier when you have older kids and it's the best. When they turn 4 months is when their sleep turns from like do you hear him screaming down there? Okay, focus. Baby lives in the carrier. Then around 4 months, their sleep goes from like, I can sleep anywhere, anytime, to like an adult sleep where they have light and not light sleep. That's when I start to do the floor bed. So I nurse to sleep I do side laying, nurse to sleep, and then I roll away. And that's how they sleep. We tried to crib with my first, it just was a disaster. So we've done floor beds ever since, and that's just what we do. Now what's happening is he is 10 months and he's not ready for one nap because his morning, he like still takes his morning nap religiously. His afternoon nap though, he fights me so hard. And so I reached out to Bedrock and I was like, what am I supposed to do? And she said, between this time, between when they're like fighting their second nap and when they're like can transition to one nap, your days are going to be long. She's like, don't do wake windows, do a schedule, which I like. So that's complicated because as far as bedtime sleep goes, My husband goes to sleep with my oldest, and then I go to sleep with the baby in the middle. The middle needs to go to bed around 7:38. So if the baby needs to go to around 8:30, honestly, just my expectations are on. So I know that I'm going to be like sitting there with the baby while he's like trying to fall asleep while the middle is asleep. And normally I'd be really frustrated. I'd be like, why are you going to sleep? You've been awake for so long. What is it? But then I'm like, okay, no, he's going to fall asleep like roughly 4 hours, like 8:30-ish. Where the other one will go to sleep probably around 8. And just knowing that, because I was trying to put him down at like 6:30, 7:30, and then at 8:30 he'd finally fall asleep, and I was like, what is going on? So just knowing that is really helpful. And my husband might have a shift change soon, so I'll be doing bedtime solo. And I'm just not exactly sure how that's gonna go. I've had to do it a couple times, and I just put him down early, and then I have the 2 girls go to bed at the same time. Because then, like, if I'm laying down with the 2 girls and he wakes up, then what am I supposed to do? So it's just gonna be a big learning curve. I'll do another updated video in like a month or two if that actually happens, and how I handle it. It's just a staggered sleep, so I'm just gonna have to do bedtime for like 3 hours. And I thought about this the other day, and I was like, you know what? This isn't gonna be forever. It might be for a few months that we're like doing that big of a staggered bedtime when I'm solo, but what else would I be doing? You know, like what else would I rather be doing than just like with my kids? So this is what my mindset guide is about. Think about how you want to handle these situations when they happen, so that when they happen, you're like, okay, yeah, this is how I want to handle it. I'm going to stay calm. And if the baby still wakes up, I'm just going to recalibrate for 5 minutes, and then everything's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. And I'm not going to get mad at my kid for coming up and waking them up when they're just little and they just wanted a snack. Please put in the comments what you do, because I'm just one person, and I know that everyone's situations are different. Everyone's age gaps are different. Everyone's how they put their kids to sleep are different. Maybe you're like, nah, we just sleep trade so we could just drop our baby in the crib and go do whatever else we need to do. That makes sense. Like, do whatever you gotta do. I hope this was helpful to like alleviate a little bit of stress. There's a learning curve for everyone, and you're gonna struggle probably for a little while, but like get those carrier naps in for the first 4 months, and then just start to try and figure it out and find a rhythm. Good luck. We're doing great. Do everything with love. It's great. Okay, bye.